Okay, so what I want you to do now is using those same four post-it notes, and now I want you to write the letter Y on one of them, the letter M on one of them, the letter X on one of them, and a B on the other. Okay, so now using your post-it notes, I want you to create this equation Y equals mx plus b. So now you notice we're still using our post-it notes, but we're introducing some letters. And I'm going to try to accomplish the same thing we did just a moment ago. I'm going to try to get this blue X completely by itself, okay? But the only way to do that is to undo the steps that we see occurring. So I'm trying to help you create the parallels between what we just did and what we're about to do. So here, what we actually have to do, just like we did before, is we need to subtract our B post-it note from both sides. So we do the opposite of what we see here. So that's subtraction. So we're going to subtract our B post-it note there. We're also going to subtract our B post-it note from the left-hand side. Now these are not like terms, so I'm not writing them directly underneath each other. Okay, so if we do that, we're left with this. These simplify, so those are gone. So let's rewrite what's our new equation. Well, I'm just going to bring these down and use them. Y minus B is still all equal to M times X. Okay, so we're getting closer now. We've got the B moved over to the left, but we still have to solve for X. So to solve for X, just like we did before, we need to divide on both sides. I need one more line here. I'm just going to draw it in. We need to divide on both sides by what we're trying to move over. So we're trying to move over that M term. So we need to move over the M. So if we divide by M on the right, division, M divided by M is 1, so those cancel out. And we're left with Y minus B all divided by M equals X. So we have accomplished what we set out to accomplish. So I want you to look at the fact that our answer here, the Y minus B all divided by M, is not a clean answer, but that's exactly what we're trying to find. We're trying to get these variables by themselves, and we essentially have to undo those operations and move them over to the other side. So what I want to do is you're going to get another piece of paper now, and I want you to try this, use this half sheet to practice some of what we're doing. So I'm going to do the first one with you and then let you practice the rest. So you'll notice there are two questions side by side, number 10 and number 1 and number 2. And what I'm hoping that you'll see is that they are very similar to each other. So you can see that we have 10 equals 2 times parentheses 3 plus W. If you look at number 2, it's pretty much the exact same setup, except they're almost all letters and fewer numbers. So the definition of a literal equation is that you have more than one letter. So the one number 1 here, this is actually not a literal equation because you only have one letter. Number 2 is a literal equation. We actually have three letters, A, L, and W. And in this case, we're trying to solve for W. What does W equal? All right. So I'm hoping you'll see that there's some parallels here to compare. Think about this right here. What's the first thing we would do? DC mad, distribute. So if we distribute, we're left with 10 equals 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times W is 2W. So you'll notice that we're actually going to do the exact same step here. We're going to distribute the 2 to both of those terms. So we have A equals 2L plus 2W. Okay, same process. Now we need to move, we're trying to solve for W, we need to move this term to the other side. How do we move a positive 6 to the other side? Hopefully you're thinking subtraction. So to undo a positive 6, we subtract 6. Those cancel. 4 equals 2W. Same thing here. How do we move a positive 2L to the left-hand side? Subtraction. So subtract 2L from both sides. Now this one you have to write side by side because you can't combine those. So A minus 2L equals 2W. So you see now that they're almost exact same thing. We're left with 2W and 2W on both of our equations. Once again, to finish this out, if we're going to solve for W, the only way to undo multiplication in both of these questions is to divide. So we're going to divide by 2, divide by 2. So these cancel. Divide by 2 over here, divide by 2 over here. 4 divided by 2. That does give us an actual number as an answer. That's, excuse me, that's not 4, that's 2. So that's what you're used to. The 4 divided by 2 equals 2. You're used to a nice clean answer like that. That's not what we're getting over here. What we're left with over here is a minus 2L all over 2. That's not as clean as what we're used to, but that's still our answer. That's what we're looking for in this particular case. Okay, so I want you to try these next couple practice problems. You have this one right here. You have this one right here. Try those with your neighbors. Practice those together. And then once you've practiced those, you have one more activity that you'll be led through as well. Best of luck and keep working hard.